So we finally made it to Delicate Arch. Is this one of your bucket list items? Look how happy Kelly is. That makes me happy. After a moderate hike to get up here, we got ourselves some really good views of the arch and all the beautiful, gorgeous surrounding territory. And that's not all. The cacti were blooming, and there are some other interesting things to see along the way. Delicate Arch, the most famous natural arch in the world, I think. The most famous arch is the St. Louis Arch. We've already seen that. Park at the Wolf Ranch parking lot, and you'll see this little cabin. It seems that John Wesley Wolf, a Civil War veteran, had built this cabin and lived in it with 5 other members of his family. It was only 255 square feet. But wow, what a beautiful place to live and raise 1,000 head of cattle. It's hard to find that kind of solitude anymore. All right, up the trail we go. Steep trail, but as you can tell, this is well maintained. And there's the valley below, where the parking area is. The sun is rising on the trail, and it is beautiful.
So that's pretty nice.
So we're making our way to the Delicate Arch. We're about a half mile in, maybe 3/4. So we're probably about halfway there. So we're not going to catch the full sunrise, but we're going to see it. It's going to be pretty nice. And already we're walking through some really nice, beautiful territory here. We're seeing cacti flowers blooming just past a nice cabin. And I'm thinking that might not have been a bad life, having all this to yourself in this beautiful place. It's almost 9, and people going up the trail, they look like a trail of ants, don't they? So it is a moderate walk. It's 3 miles one way with a 480-foot elevation gain, and plenty of beauty to appreciate while you stop and catch your breath. We must be getting close. We're taking a bit of an incline, and we're determined. This is definitely a hike to bring your good camera on. The pictures that you take are going to be a wonderful reminder. So looking back and seeing the parking lot, we can almost, as a matter of fact, we can see our rig. But at the top of this hill right here, I'm going to say this is about the halfway point. The trail gets pretty interesting up here. You lose the great views, but the rocks become more interesting. And yes, I think you're about halfway there at this point. But I'm going to throw in some more of those nice views. I can't help myself. This is one of those hikes where you will enjoy the journey as well as the destination. All right, coming to kind of a pass here. So is this the part where we see the arch? No, it is not. So when we got here, there was probably about 40 or 50 vehicles in the parking lot. And about half of those showed up after we parked and had a quick breakfast and coffee and got ourselves ready. And we're seeing a lot of people who were here for the sunrise and they're heading back. So might be that it's not really too crowded here. I believe we're approaching it now. I'm thinking it'll be within sight any minute now, any second now. No, not in sight yet. Still got a ways to go. The trail continues. Things I didn't expect. Things we didn't expect. Okay, I think we're there. Just about. There's like a sidewalk going up. Pretty nice. And there it is. It's pretty big. It's pretty cool. That's how big it is. Wow.
Oh, sorry. I just didn't want to get in the way. No, it's all right. Thank you. Wow.
It's actually not as crowded as I thought it would be. Yes, on a day like today, you can get views of the arch without people inside of it. There's definitely people around, also enjoying it and appreciating it. They're not hanging out in the arch for too long. Kelly's playing it safe, having second breakfast. But that's where you come from, right around that corner. It's kind of like a nice steep sidewalk. And then as soon as you get up here, you look to the right and you see that.
The commercial superintendent.
No. That's not yours.
If it's closed up, you guys want to flip over? We don't have a car.
Thank you.
Well, we're just.
A hike like this will make you very happy. It's now another one of our favorite memories. So after we hung out and enjoyed this vantage point for a while, we went around to the other side. But on the way out, I noticed something that I did not catch on the way in. There's another little arch. So make sure to check it out. And there it is. Delicate arch seen from the other side. We were across the way on the other side of the arch. That's where you see all of those people. So it's another hike with some elevation gain to get to this point. And the valley below was just beautiful. Most people are probably not going to get right to the edge like I did. So I took my time. It's best not to be in a rush. So I just climbed up here to get some good shots. So I went from my, what is that lens? I think it's a 18 to 55. It's the kit lens that comes with your Canon EOS. And then I went to my 300 millimeter, zoomed in pretty good and got some good shots. And so I look at stuff like this and I get a lot of pleasure out of it, especially being a Christian, because believing every word of the Bible means that you have an alternate theory for how a lot of this stuff came about. And other than the theory of millions of years creating all of this stuff, which I'm not saying isn't possible because I wasn't there and no one was there. So no one really knows except for God who was there. And so he alone has the authority to say how this stuff came about. So when you look at Delicate Arch, looks like there was kind of a wall there. And that very well could have been created during Noah's flood. Yes, the Great Deluge. Almost every culture around the world has a story about the Great Deluge and a story of a family that got into an ark and survived. However, if you look at all those models of an ark, none of them were seaworthy. Only the ark alone, about 1.5 football fields long, and its length to its width to its height. It matches the ideal conditions for a proper seagoing vessel to this day. There's so many reasons why it's fun to be a Christian who does not see science and the Bible as being mutually exclusive. No, being a Christian and being able to see God's creation and all of this, it makes life pretty fun and exciting. And right down there in that ledge on the other side of that tree is where I was just sitting to get the view I got. Yes, I do practice every precaution, from getting down to getting up and taking the photos. I ain't gonna do no death by selfie stuff. One more view of that, because that is amazing. Thank you, Jesus, for the world you created for us. So when you're coming into the park and you want to see Delicate Arch, I would try to get there early, before the big crowds get there. There's going to be some people there early in the morning, but you should be able to get some shots of the arch without it being crowded out by other people. And consider hiking the other trail to get a view from it from the other side. I'd say it's worth it. It was nice being able to drive to the arch from our campsite this morning. And also near our campsite was Pine Tree Arch, which now that I remember, we actually did this hike later that day. Hey, thanks for watching our video. If you like these adventures, click and subscribe. More is on the way.